Hey everybody, this is Nick. I'm coming to you live with a very quick tip on how to kind of zhuzh up your normal clustered bar chart. So right here on the slide, you have a clustered bar chart. You've probably made one or maybe 100 of these. We always have data where we want to compare two groups. And this is a really easy chart type to put on your slide because it's a default chart type in PowerPoint. But especially if you have two groups that are really different on one specific aspect, like this here is showing ages in a visitor group for members and general public. And I can really see here that because I know these data, I can see that the 9 to 12-year-olds and 13 to 15-year-olds are 15-year-olds are quite a bit higher for the general public audience than the member audience. But you can't really get that at a glance. But you can if you put this in a back-to-back bar chart or a butterfly or a tornado chart, you might see them called. So this is really easy, and you can make this with just a few clicks. You don't have to do a whole lot of re-editing and things like that. So I'm going to show you a few tricks right now. So let's escape out of this slide. I'm going to go back to my regular clustered bar chart. The first thing we want to do is we want to put the member on the other side of that axis. And to do that, we just need to change all the underlying values to negative values. So this is an embedded chart right here on my slide. Oops, I have this. This is an embedded chart. So all I have to do is right click and say edit data. And that's going to pull up my Excel edit data source window right here. And you can see these are my data. I want to turn all of my member numbers negative. Now, you don't have to go through and one by one type negative 19, negative 28%. All you need to do is make sure that you're clicking into a cell outside of the range. Make sure that you're at least one row or one column away. And we're going to go ahead and say -1. Now, we want to make sure that we're one column or one row away, because if we were to put that -1 in right next to the table, it would think that that's part of the chart, and it would expand the chart range, the source for that chart there. So we don't want to do that. We just want this as our little helper here. So what I'm going to do is push Control-C to copy that -1, and then we're going to go ahead and highlight everything we want to turn negative. We're going to say right-click, we're going to go to Paste Special, and then in Paste Special menu, I'm going to click on Multiply. We're going to multiply everything here by -1. That's going to turn it all negative, and you can see some things go haywire with the chart that we're going to fix. The first thing I want to do is I want to reformat these as percentages. So with this still selected, I'm going to right-click and go down to Format Cells, and then we're going to go on Percentage and drop that down to 0, no decimals there. Okay, so now I'm going to close out of my Excel window. Now, what we need to do, we can't see our negative bars because our axis only goes from 0 to +40. So what we're going to do is we're going to right-click our axis, go to Format Axis to open that Format Axis menu there. And under the minimum, I'm going to say -0.4. And go ahead and push Enter. And now we see the makings of our back-to-back chart. Now you can see the clustered treatment is still there because one of our bars is above the other and so on. So we want to make sure that they are completely back-to-back. And to do that, we got to work the overlap. So all we need to do is click on one bar, any bar, doesn't matter. The Format Data Series opens right here. And under Series Overlap, we're going to go from 0 to 100%. And now you've overlapped the bars, but they are back-to-back and beautiful. Now there's still a little bit of white space in between the gap width. I think that's too big for my liking, so I'm going to go ahead and update that from 50% to 20%, and that looks like a really nice, almost a population pyramid type treatment. Now, something that we need to deal with here is our axis. Now, I could go ahead and directly label these bars and get rid of my axis, and you might want to do that. But for some reason, I kind of like the grid lines. I want to have the axis stay there, but I don't want this negative, these negative values on the left here. I want to set those so that it's 0 to 40% on this side, on the left side, and 0 to 40% on the right side. You can do that using a custom number format. So when we go ahead and we open the Format Axis menu there, we're going to do that again. Go down this time to the number menu, and this is where you update that custom number format. Right now it's set to percentage, but we are going to click on that menu and we're going to go to custom. Now it's going to do something weird here. We don't want to do that, obviously, these $signs. But I need to put in a new custom format code, and I never know how to format these codes. So I always have to Google how do I do a custom format, a custom number format for Excel or PowerPoint chart axes when I want positive values on both sides. But what I thought I might do is use my AI Copilot assistant. I finally got Copilot to do this, so I'm going to open my Copilot chat pane right here, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to ask it, how can I make sure that all values are positive? So I'm just going to say, give me a custom number format for my chart axis that will keep all values positive. I want the left side to read 0% to 40%, and I want the right side to read 0% to 40% positive values. Let's now push enter and let's see what that prompt gives me. It's going to go do some thinking, and there it goes. It gives me this custom number format code right here. It gives me a little bit of reason, it gives me a little bit of explanation about why it works. If I really cared, I could read that, and then maybe I wouldn't have to do this every time. But I'm just going to go ahead and copy this, Control C. Let's go back to our format axis menu, down to the custom number format. It's set to custom, and under format code, I'm going to paste it in, Control V, and then we're going to click on add. And there we go. We have positive values on both sides of my back-to-back chart. Now from here, it's just a little bit more formatting. Let's go ahead and increase the size of my labels right there. And let's see, maybe I'm going to just go and put this down, the plot area, because I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this legend, and I'm going to insert my own custom legend with text boxes here. I'm just going to do this, and we're going to make sure that that's right aligned. And then I'm going to copy this and say general public, make sure this is left aligned and nicely color coded. Let's see, make all caps, general public, very nice, very nice. Let's go ahead and use our, let's use our alignment tools to make sure that these are aligned to the middle. And I'm just going to nudge them over with my arrow keys, pretty nice there. Right down, right into this. And this is where all the little nitpicks happen right here. I'm going to make sure that this is maybe 2 more sizes bigger. Let's go ahead and color code this and make sure that's blue. Okay, so there's one more thing that I thought I would share. And here's the thing. I want a really nice descriptive title for this chart. I want a chart title that describes a little bit about what's going on in the chart instead of just a generic ages in visitor group type of thing. So I could go ahead and come up with this on my own, or I could ask Copilot again for a few variations. So let's go ahead and open my Copilot pane again, and I'm just going to say, Copilot, give me a 1-sentence descriptive title for this chart. Make it punchy and share an insight from the data. Okay, let's push enter and see what happens. Let's see if it'll give me this. I'll probably have to prompt it again if I don't like the title, but sometimes it might give me an actual nice title here. So it's analyzing the chart. I think it's looking at the chart on the slide, and now it says, okay, here's my title, suggested title. Teens lead the charge, semicolon. General public shows stronger presence in younger age groups than members. Okay, so that's true, but I don't want that semicolon in there. I just want it to be a sentence. So I'm going to say, do it again with no semicolon. So let's see what it gives me now. General public has a stronger teen presence while members skew older. Oh, that is not true, because members, let's see, general public has a stronger teen presence. Yes, that's true. While members skew older. Members actually skew younger. So younger there. So actually, let's say that's not right. Members actually skew younger. Can you update? And this is where you see the actual time you save with Copilot sometimes is not going to be worth the squeeze. You could probably come up with a better title on your own than the time it takes you to write these prompts. So that's just something that you got to think about. But I always like to play with the technology that we have access to, and I haven't had Copilot for very long, so I'm kind of just playing with it. Members show a stronger teen presence while general public leans older. Also, that's totally not right either. Oh my gosh. I wonder if, let's see, I'm going to open my data source and just make sure that the data source is actually correct. So members, and then yeah, so my members are my same data there. I'm going to close out of this and just say, forget all of the titles you've come up with. They are wrong. Let's see what Copilot tells me, gives me on the way back. I think it's probably nice to be nice and kind to your AI assistants, but you know, sometimes it's a little tough love is probably necessary. So let's see if it forgets all of them, and then let's see if it will generate. Ages and visitor group. Okay, it's back to my normal slide. Members trend younger than the general public with a stronger teen presence. Hey, that one's actually not too bad. So let's go ahead, and I'm just going to use that one. I still might want to zhuzh it up and change it a little bit. But I think for now, this is going to be a nice descriptive title. I might color code the title just a little bit, or I might just keep it like this and make sure that my legend labels are down there. Okay, so that exercise on making chart titles was just a little longer than I hoped it would be, but it gives you a little behind the scenes peek about how Copilot happens. So I hope that you like this video. If you do, give it a thumbs up. I hope you give this a try on your next clustered bar chart. Give it a little flip and try to make it a back-to-back and see what it looks like. I hope you all have a wonderful day. I had a great time making this video for you. Remember to like, subscribe, hit the bell. You'll get notified every time I post a new video in data design, usually PowerPoint, Excel, or Word. See you all next time.